Hello, my name is Amber with Madison Rose Quilting Co. and today I'm going to show you how to nest your seams. This is my free Baby Gingham Quilt pattern, and I'm going to show you what nesting the seams means and how to do it to make it really easy to have your lines match up when you are sewing this quilt. So for example, in my pattern, these are the colors that I've used. I've used dark green, medium green, and then a white. So you need a dark color, medium color, and a light color. When you're nesting your seams, so when I'm putting these rows together, first I've put them all together one by one for a whole row. Then I'm going to sew the rows together. So nesting the seams really is important when you're sewing the rows together. So in this pattern, for example, I have said all of your seams should be pressed towards the medium color. So that is, in this case, your medium green. And that looks like this. So when I have pressed them, I've pressed it over to the medium side. So now when I'm nesting my seams, I'm going to pull my top row down, and they're going to now line up. So now you can see this seam is laying flat this way. This seam is laying flat this way, the extra fabric. So now when I put them together, they just nest together really nicely. And now it lays pretty flat right there. So that's nesting your seams. So then I'll go ahead and I'll put a pin in it once everything is straight here. And you can feel it when you put your hand that, either you have a big lump or you don't. If they're nested perfectly, you don't have a big lump. Then I'm going to put a pin in just to hold it in place. And then I'll go ahead and sew my 1/4 inch seam as I'm putting my rows together. And every single seam that I come to when I'm putting my rows together, I just make sure that they're nested and put together. That way, your fabric is a little bit flexible generally, and you can pull one or the other. If it's not exactly lined up, if your cutting is a little off or your 1/4 inch seam is a little bit off, sometimes maybe they don't line up. But when you nest them like this, it really helps them to stay together, and it makes a really nice, clean top for your quilt when you do that. So then I go ahead and I do a 1/4 inch seam. I'm taking out your pin so you don't go over it. And then when I go ahead and I iron my rows, when I press them, so you'll see this one goes one way, this goes another. When I press the rows, when I'm going together on these, I actually press them open, and that just helps the quilt top to lay pretty flat without more bulk. And so as you can see, my two seams are pretty nice there. So when I open it up, now I have a really nice square looking seam right in the middle. So that's what I mean when I say nesting the seams, and that's why it helps when you're quilting. It doesn't work on every quilt, but for this gingham pattern, it does work really, really well. I hope this helps. Thanks.